Welcome to Sunny Mountain Patterns Field 1 Jumpsuit tutorial. This is what the front looks like and the back. So first we're going to attach the shoulders, and we also want to press in the front and fold in the button placket extensions. I like to use a hot iron to do this so it folds nicely. So here I've already attached the shoulders with pins, and I'm now pinning in place the center front so I don't lose the folds. And we're going to sew the shoulders together. So we have to do both sides. I think I only show one side here. But again, remember to forward and backward stitch at the beginning and end. So we have to also do the facing shoulders, so that's the short part, it's not the full bodice. We'll both have to be attached first, so you have to do both sides. Most people have two sides to their body. So then now we're going to attach the bodice facing to the bodice so that we can evert it or turn it right side out. Later, it's like magic, trust me. Be amazed. So here I have the pins that are going to be 90 degrees to the seam, just so that it holds it better when it's curved. This is useful if you have curved things or things that are on the bias. And then again, we just sew, remove the pins while you work so you don't forget pins. People don't like getting poked when they put clothes on. So notice I'm also pressing open the seam. That just makes it sit better when you fold it outwards and when you're wearing it. Oh, I forgot a pin! I'm bad. Please make sure you take out all the pins. So you have to do the armholes as well. Both armholes. I start off the neck hole. I don't know why. It just seems like a good place to start. So make sure that the seams match up for the facing and for the bottom itself. I did not fold that open, I should have. And then before we evert it, we're going to clip the curves so that it fits nicely. But make sure you do not cut where you just sewed, because you will be very grumpy if you do that. Because if you do that, just sew over that one part, forward and backwards, sewing to tack it down. So now we're going to do the magic. We're going to make the bodice facing right side out. So grab one side and then just start everting it like you would for turning something, and just keep on pulling. Sometimes you can use a little wooden chopstick, which I have. I just pulled it from my kitchen, it's nothing fancy. I just keep pulling and pulling. And then eventually, I'm waiting to say ta-da. Ta-da! So you probably want to press these all open so they fit nicely or they lie flat. You don't have to keep doing all this fidgeting. And then we're going to top stitch it, so it's about 1/4 inch or 6 millimeters from the end. You have to top stitch the neck and both armholes. This is just so that when it's worn, it looks nice and professional. It doesn't get all touched up when you wash it. Speaking of washing, please shrink all of your fabric in hot water and then dry in a dryer or hang dry. I like to hang dry in the sun. This prevents the fabric from shrinking after you've already made it. Like between your kid and waders, which are supposed to be long pants. So here I did the neck, and now I'm doing the armhole. I think I only do one side for this video, but you definitely do the other side. Now we're going to gather the waist with long black basting stitches. It's the longest stitch you can have for your sewing machine. You have to do the back and then the two fronts. The two fronts is the left and right side. So you can see here where I grab the bottom, which is the bobbin thread, and you just start pulling. Nice little ruchings. So now we're going to attach both of the two fronts. This is one of the fronts because it's shorter. You want to make sure that they are evenly matched, so both sides fit on both sides of the front bodice. You want to do the same thing for the back, and then just kind of use it so that the gathers are evenly distributed. So I've sewed it down, and now you can see where the bottom and the top, or the bodice and the bottom, together. I'm going to move the seam allowance to the top towards the bodice and top stitch it down. So you can see right there, I flipped it over so you can see where the seam allowance is. You have to do this for both sides and for the back. This just makes it look really nice and professional. You can skip a step if you're in a hurry. So here's the back. This is going to be a bit wider. This also gives extra strength to attachments, so now you have double stitching. So we want to press the front fold pockets for the bottom side cheeks. So see here, this is already the top where it's already been done. Now that they're together, we're just going to go straight down from neck to the bottom of the pants, or the crotch. It always seems really wrong to say. If you're really good, you can do this the other way, so it's top stitched and you have really nice stitching shown on the outside. But I am not that good, so I like to guide. I'm about a 1/4 inch from the fold on the inside. You have to do both sides again. So now we're going to do this optional inseam pocket. If you're not going to put the inseam pocket to put buttons or snaps or poppers, you can go ahead and skip this step. I have the actual how to do the inseam in the next part of this video. So here again, remember I said this is on the bias for the strip. I'm putting on a curve, so we definitely want pins to be perpendicular to where we're going to sew. It keeps it from sliding and bunching. This all should match up. Take a little bit of time. Please don't poke yourself with the needles. It's not pleasant. All I did was I folded it in half and I pressed the inseam pocket just to give it that nice crisp look. So here's the quick and dirty way. We're just going to sew that down. It's going to be right side to right side, and I'm going to fold it inwards and then top stitch it again. I don't know if I put that in this tutorial, but if you fold it inwards, please, you can go ahead and top stitch it to give it a nice structure. But you can also just press it in place, that's fine too. So you want the seam to press in towards the pants, or the bottoms. So there's that, and you press it over, just like that with a hot iron, just to make it nice and professional. If you want to finish your seams there, you can go ahead and do that with a serger or zigzag stitch or pinkett. So here we're sewing the inseam. We have to first put together the front left and right side, so you can see that little pin that's pointing and probably poking me right now. And now we're going to just use regular pins to match and fold these together. You want the center seams together, and you want the ankles also to match. There's a lot of pinning when you sew, I'm sorry. So we're going to sew the inseam all the way down from one ankle up and around to the other ankle. This is the benefit of having this type of crotch, drop crotch harem pants. You can just go up and over and down. You don't have the extra seams that the regular pants do. So we actually have not sewed the side seams yet, even though this one has side seams. I made a mistake when I finished it. We're going to clip the curves so that it sits nicely if you haven't put in the snap pocket. We're going to hem the pant leg by opening it up. So you can see here, I just have the pant leg by itself. You fold it over twice, 1/2 inch, or a little bit more if you have somebody with shorter legs. If you have longer legs, you're going to have to make it extend the pattern a little bit by cutting the pattern through the leg and moving it down before you cut out the fabric. So there you can see where we're going to sew. Again, we're about 1/4 inch from the edge on the inside. Sew all the way down, again, forward and backwards. If you want it to be a nice clean finish, don't sew the first 1.5 inches and the last 1.5 inches. You just roll down the half and sew up the side seam when we do that, which should be the next step. It needs to be 1.5 inches, by the way. 1 inch will not cut it. You won't have anything to roll it down. So now we're going to sew the side seam. We're just going to match up the side seam. I flipped up the facing so that I can get the facing as well, so it's a nice clean finish when you flip it back down. Here I chose to do sideways pins. At this point, it doesn't matter. It's not super curvy. It just depends on what you feel like. If you're doing this all entirely on a third door and overlocker, you want to make sure you take out those pins if you're doing it sideways, because you're going to break your knife if you don't. So here's some detail. If you wanted to flip it open to make a finish, we can flip open at least the first fold. And then when you're done, you flip it back up and tack it into place. Like that! Might take a little judging. And then you can finish